Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have an update with Clayton Echard following his trial with Laura Owens, the podcaster who has accused him of wild things. Well, Clayton did another interview. I've been wanting to cover this for a few days now. He did it with Ashley Nordman, and the interview is really good. And I encourage everyone to go listen and watch the full thing. Do me a solid, leave a comment on the interviewer's YouTube channel to help boost the algorithm. That would really be nice. But I would be remiss if I didn't offer my thoughts on what Clayton is saying. It's good. So it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit since he won his evidentiary hearing. Now, while he and his team probably are going to have a hard time collecting money from Laura Owens, I think she owes $150,000 or so. It's probably one of the biggest legal victories you could get in family court. And by that, I mean, look, they won just about everything they could win. And with that, what comes next? Clayton's going to discuss the moment he saw Laura before the trial. And I got to tell you, for anybody that was there, I was recording outside my production van, my journalism power recapper van. It was 120 degrees at 8 a.m. It was the sun. We were cooking eggs on the asphalt. That was the whole thing, right? And there was a weird moment when she walked by because we had told everyone, don't talk to her. Don't even look at her. Just let it be. You know what I mean? Because we don't want to heckle her. We don't want her to have any reason whatsoever to say, I'm being targeted. I'm the victim. And as she walks by with her legal team, her mom, her expert medical, quackologist, it was a thing. Everyone that was there knows. It was like, oh boy, this just got real. And it was. Here's what Clayton had to say. Again, you can check out this full interview, Not Ashamed podcast. I haven't even hit subscribe. Hit subscribe to it and leave them a nice comment and let them know, that you appreciate her work because it'll encourage her as a content creator to continue to elevate this story. Again, I've got a lot here. I'm going to share what Clayton said at the trial and what he said about how she's being investigated now by the county prosecutors. What a wild time to be alive.
Playing football moment where I'm like, okay, I'm going into this environment and I'm winning. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to go in and I prepped for it as if it was a football game. Mm-hmm. So I had that confidence on the drive there. And I just was like, I don't have a care in the world. Like this.
I imagine him playing "Lose Yourself" by Eminem. Lose yourself in the moment.
This is clearly the ball's in my court. I'm winning this without a doubt. And that's the way I carried myself when I went in. The second that I arrived, I got out of my car and I met up with my lawyers outside in the parking lot. And then when I saw her and her mother and the medical expert, I had this rage that just overtook me. And it's my demeanor flipped 100%. I went into complete silence. I walk into the courtroom, I see my family, I give them a quick hug, but I didn't want anybody to talk to me.
I mean, I can attest, when he and his lawyer walked by, it was kind of just like, how are you? It was like, we were live. It was what a day to be alive.
I stood outside the courtroom waiting to walk in for 30 minutes and I just stared at the door. It's just because my emotion hit me in that moment. A lot hit me at once. I thought, how...
Can you imagine Clayton's just in the bathroom doing push-ups, trying to burn off the energy? He's just like the Hulk.
Frustrating is that I'm here.
Yeah.
That this woman had the audacity to show up with her mother, who's again complicit in all of this, and a medical expert that is a fraud. And how dare they show up? I mean, I was absolutely irate.
What?
Because I guess in my head I thought, you shouldn't show up. You're the guilty one. Why are you continuing to take this as far as you have? Just give up.
Exactly. And was she acting super confident, like she had this in the bag?
I'll tell you what I say before he gets into it. Sorry, I'm eating nuts. Speaking of Laura. Okay. She This is theater arts to her. She dresses up in the damsel in distress outfit. She's, I'm the scorned, I'm the abused, I do declare. I mean, she walked in with that aura, and it's just like everyone else is like, yuck.
She just, I mean, her whole demeanor is that, and I know she doesn't believe herself, but she's just sticking with this, I'm going to take this to my grave.
Yeah, and she thinks that she's a victim.
And she thinks she's a victim, and I just, oh man, I mean, just talking about it, like, I was so angry at that point. We get into the courtroom, and I sit down, and I just start fuming. I mean, I this rage is just driving me. I can feel like adrenaline racing through my body. And for the first hour, I was zoned out. I was staring down at the desk in front of me, and I just remember I was like, I just felt like I could run through a wall.
So we've got commenters in the live Patreon right now, patreon.com/Dave Neal, that were in the room. And Teresa says this, I have mentioned this before, but while Laura was testifying the first time, Clayton shut his eyes almost the whole time. When she was on cross, holy crap, that was a scene. The twirl, the hand motions from Dingus, the minor eruption from the victims, pretty wild stuff.
I mean, my adrenaline was just firing on all cylinders. And then at one point she said in the courtroom that I raped her. And I remember at that point I was ready to flip the desk. Like I just felt like that was the angriest moment in the court hearing when she said that. I was like, I cannot believe that you are this ridiculous, that you will continue to just launch off claim after claim after claim when we have all the evidence that what you said it was consensual, what we did, but you've lied about what we've done.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the whole time, the only one to react was Laura. Clayton's ability to withstand the innate urge to just yell, no, that's not true. His ability to stay focused and in the moment, that is, I mean, he's like a bishop. I don't even know. I mean, he's a saint.
And now you're trying to say I raped you? I mean,
that was very out of left field, I feel like.
She threw it out so nonchalant, which also just, I mean, that's what got me so angry. I was already fuming, and then she said that, and I was like, this woman needs to be put away for good. Like,
seriously. It's disgusting how people can just say what they want and just try to ruin your reputation.
And she just says whatever. I mean, she makes up rape claims. She makes up having an ovarian cancer with one.
Cancer?
She claimed she had cancer with one of the previous victims and had her ovary removed. And now she's saying she never sent that message.
Did she bring this up in the courtroom?
That was brought up by my lawyer.
No, we're saving it for the documentary, honey.
Yeah, because it was found on one of the previous victims' hard drives. He gave forensics his entire hard drive. And all the information on it, and it uncovered a lot of, text messages and things that she had said.
Yeah.
She comes back and says, "I never said that." Yeah. After
well,
a forensic,
here it is.
a forensic.
By the way, there's been so many people have been underestimated. I'm going to tell you the three. Clayton was so underestimated. As a strong football player, after the edit of his show, he was so underestimated about how he would handle this. I don't know a person that could have done it better. I think I was underestimated by, different people, respectfully. By Clayton. He didn't think I was going to be able to pull off some of the things we pulled off. I think I was underestimated by Laura over my ability to get the information we got. And the third person that was underestimated, and I say person because it's like a collective person, is you. The audience. The audience was so underestimated at what you would be able to do in a sort of a collective unity to seek this justice, from pulling files to scouring the internet to finding ultrasounds, and your support, the cash donations to Mike Maricini to get the laptop verified. You got, I mean, if there is ever a trophy for the unsung hero of the Clayton Echard trials, it is the Justice for Clayton community. Unbelievable.
Forensics expert was like, "No, we scrubbed his laptop. This came from your phone."
I'm just baffled that a forensics team is involved over some stupid girl just pretending that she got pregnant by you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's
no words. I'm angry for you, so I can't even imagine what you were like in the courtroom.
Yeah. Well, Clayton's going to tell you what it was like. So let's cut to the 16-minute mark. Let's go to Scorched Earth Clayton.
Oh, we found this about
They're being detectives for you.
We found this.
Yeah.
And it's like, sorry, like you brought this on yourself.
You asked for that attention.
But
what did you think was going to happen?
And like you want to try to go head up, you're going to lose. Like
Yeah.
I'll go head to head with you now because
And who knows what the investigators are finding that us normal people couldn't. They're the professionals. They can make the phone calls into the system. Who knows? Who knows what else is out there? Because do you really think we found it all? Do you really think we've overturned every stone? I don't know, folks.
I don't want to weaponize what I have, but she's left me no choice.
Exactly.
And I'm still playing pretty fair. I mean, I could go lower.
Could I get you a ladder? Man, what do you want?
tried to be mature about it, but I'm like, I could go really low. Like there's plenty of things that I've held off where I'm like,
For
if
sure.
I want to go full scorched earth on you, which like I'm starting to kind of get a little, fire under me.
What?
But I'm not full scorched earth yet. But I was like, if I wanted to, like, I'll start reaching out to all of these media sources. Because a lot of the places that have covered me were people that reached out on my behalf.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I really wanted to, I'll take 2-3 weeks and I will reach out to all the major networks.
Yeah.
And I will just go like, I'll blast it. I want to share my story. And I might, because I'm like, I might just do it. I've been on the cusp where I'm like, well, I also just want to live my life.
Yeah.
By the way, the Patreon audience got to watch a very big moment today. I signed a contract with a documentary, let's call them production team, for this story. And it's under my belief that everyone will be involved. That was a big momentous moment today. So again, I understand you might go, Dave, what's happening with the thing? Well, let me tell you this. Football season's around the corner, and you know what I love more than anything? A crock pot. You know how a crock pot works? You throw all the stuff in there, you set it, and forget it. And we've set it, and now other people are handling it, and we can just smell the chili being cooked from the other room.
And I feel like I've got enough traction at this point. She's being referred to the county attorney, likely she's going to be investigated. So I'm like, okay, we're on the right track. So I really don't need
officially is being investigated
to do anything now because like now the county attorney is aware.
Yeah.
And they hopefully will prosecute her. So that's really all I needed. But I'm like,
sure.
if I really want to blow this up a little bit more, like I will do it. Like if you keep pushing my buttons with these stupid articles you're releasing, like I'm one button away from being pushed where I'm like, let's do it. Like let's do it. I'll go on every single thing I can find.
Yeah, and you probably should at some point if she keeps putting the gas pedal down, because at some point you can't just let her keep trying to run the narrative. And
I love that he
also,
said,
I think
sorry.
it's funny how people
I love that he said he's one button away. Oh, don't push Clayton's buttons. Come on.
Because when this first all happened, from what you told me, it was this juicy story. Oh my God, The Bachelor got this girl pregnant. It was like you were the freaking loser on this earth. And now it's funny how it's like you kind of see the whole community shifting, going like, holy shit, he's actually not guilty. And you seem so much more confident. I can tell you have people behind you now. And where before I think you were very nervous that people were not going to believe you.
Yeah, well, because I just went through a previous accusation. It's guilty till proven innocent. I know that I wasn't the most liked Bachelor, so I knew that the majority of people would automatically want. There were a lot of people that wanted this to be true.
For sure. They wanted the juicy story to see that you got this girl pregnant.
They wanted to go, thank you. This guy that I don't like is what I thought he was.
Yes.
A bad person, so
Yes.
I want to see him fail. And I keep trying to tell people, and again, my ego a little bit, I'm like, if you want to watch me fail, you missed the opportunity. Like, it's not happening anymore.
Damn. Don't be pushing those buttons. By the way, some of the commenters say, my spidey senses tell me there's so much more, including financial crimes that involved her family.
What?
So we'll have to see. I mean, look, hey, that's the thing. The last thing you want if you're this family, especially if you're her mom, is to have their legacy ruined in this way. The mother should have thrown Laura under the bus, metaphorically speaking, when it came down to just saying, yeah, she did all the, they should have distanced themselves from her. In some odd way, the mother trying to protect the daughter became complicit and makes it way worse.
again, I have enough stuff that I'm focused on now. But you know, I want to see the other side of this. I think it's just like the saga though that doesn't end. You know, recently her father, he was a ABC radio host for like 30 years.
Oh my gosh.
And now he's tried to defame me, which is
I don't know. I still think Laura pulled the strings on that.
ridiculous. I called Laura a pest and a cockroach on a podcast. I think it was yours. Yeah, it was yours. Yeah. And
she is a cockroach.
because she won't go away.
Oh boy.
And I used that terminology, and then I didn't know they're Jewish apparently. Even though I've heard they don't celebrate any of that. They celebrate Christmas. They don't. So they also changed their last name to not be Jewish. It was something else. So they're not Jewish until all of a sudden they want to be now.
Yeah.
And apparently that those terms, pest and cockroach, are you know, they're harmful to the Jewish community. Like they used to be used in a way that would, I guess, take down Jewish individuals during the
dehumanize.
Holocaust.
But this literally ends here because you didn't even know she was Jewish.
I didn't know she was Jewish. I also didn't know that pest and cockroach were used against, you know, in an anti-Semitic way.
And her attorney called me a cockroach.
Yeah, like in America, that is.
And that was the thing where I was like, if I didn't use it that way, I didn't know that was even a thing.
No.
I would never want to offend that community. I don't have anything against Jewish people. But
Oh my
they
God,
tried
people
to.
are just so soft.
But she
Someone in the comment section says, she's not a cockroach, she's a bed bug. Well, that's the closest she's going to get to a bed, with Clayton at least.
tried to. Well, no, her dad tried to cancel me on that. I'm like, everyone knows, and everyone saw that, was like, this is ridiculous. Like, he doesn't have anything against Jewish people. I was like, no, I literally I didn't even know. I'm like,
He's
listen,
reaching.
I was like, I'm
And
not.
by the way, lots of Ron Owens' former employees have watched my content. I'm not kidding you when I say this. Lots of people that worked with him found the truth. Because let me tell you something. If you've ever seen some drama play out on Facebook, you know, like the way it was when he posted, the Barbra Streisand effect is go Google it. And guess what happens when you search Google for Laura Owens or Clayton Echard? Hello! Hello! You get me, bitch. And you get the truth. Sorry, I said the B word.
Not the smartest guy either. Like, I'm from Missouri, and like, I shouldn't take it down on Missouri, but like, I'm just like,
Yeah, come
I'm
on
like,
now.
Not in that manner. I'm just like,
Just
guys, I'm
kidding.
like, don't give me too much credit. Like, I'm not the smartest guy. Like, I don't know the whole history. I mean, when they said anti-Semitic, I was like, I had to Google it real quick because I was like, oh, it's against people. I'm not like my history and all that. I mean, there's certain things that I feel like I'm
Clayton, we get it. You're not that smart. Respectfully.
confident I know,
Same.
and other things I'm like, I don't know the first thing about history.
I know.
You know,
I'm the same way.
I think it's fascinating now, but growing up in high school, I never really paid attention to history. It was like my least favorite subject, that
Same.
in English. And so I'm like, no, you're giving me too much credit. Like, I had to Google. I was like, anti-Semitic? Oh, okay.
Like, you think I'm sly enough to put that in there
Yeah.
when I was just literally
I was like, no, I just used that
saying
word.
that she is ruthless and keeps coming back.
All right, let's jump ahead. We got 2 more clips to play for you guys. But again, it's worth the full thing. They do a really good job here.
At you, but like, now what? What's next?
Yeah, so we hope that she gets prosecuted. So
Okay.
that's, you know, that should be underway, hopefully.
And that would be like another trial kind of thing, or how does that?
Yeah,
even...
if they decide to move forward, the county attorney with prosecuting her, then they will basically, instead of it being me versus her in court, it'll be the county attorney versus her.
Okay.
I don't want a plea deal. I want the truth coming out. I don't want her pleading to something, you know, well, I admit that I shouldn't, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, no. Let's get the full truth there.
So that'd be
To
great.
like charge her.
Yeah, to charge her
Okay.
on. So she was referred for perjury and physical tampering of evidence.
Okay.
So both criminal charges.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they're felonies. They're class 6 felonies, I believe. So
And you can go to jail for that?
yep.
Hell yeah.
And she's done it not only with me, but with the previous men as well. So there's the potential that they could stack.
Yeah, it's a track record now.
You know, they
yeah.
could stack multiple charges or instances, and so yeah, I mean, she could face 6 years in prison if they're able to basically just trap from me to the previous men.
Yeah.
She's done this across state lines, so I don't know if they'll refer her. They could possibly, if they find her guilty, like maybe the county attorney might talk to the district attorney, and you know in San Francisco, and and you could see them start pick up charges. So there's a lot that could happen. And at this point, the nice thing is that I'm like, well, it's out. I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm not the one that has to fight this now. They're the ones that can take this.
And doesn't that feel so good? You finally have like support, how you've just been wanting for so long.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't have support for the first few months, so I just kind of just dealt with it. I'm like, it is what it is. And then when people come around, it feels good, but you also go, well, I was so used to not having support.
Yeah, it
so
feels weird.
I really don't. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't need it, but I'm like,
I already got through this myself.
I got through this
like,
without you also. Again, and I'm not saying that I'm very grateful for everyone that supported me.
No, I get it. It's just like you already got through the hardest part alone. So the support is appreciated, but you kind of don't even know what to do with it at this point because you already got yourself here alone.
Yeah, and I feel.
And it's also hard too because like I know like you and I have gone through a lot of similar things, and sometimes you kind of have walls up too because it's like, okay, well now you want to support me, but you didn't before. And the real people.
Well, she doesn't know this, but nobody knew about this until September. So May, June, July, August. So 4 months went by where no one had any idea he was going through this.
I feel like would have supported you all along sometimes. So it's kind of like a tricky.
Yeah,
mentality.
I mean,
this is not a case where people waited for the right side of the story. Our audience, our core audience, knew right away. We started finding this information out right away. And she doesn't understand that, but you know he knows.
I don't actually. That came out recently. There were a few people that got frustrated because a couple of individuals said, "Well, no one wanted to support him," and you know, and now like, what does this say about the community? And I
saw that actually.
And I honestly never really was upset by the fact that certain people didn't speak up, because my whole thing is I'm like, you don't have to speak up unless you really want to.
And it's a private matter. I
By the way, and again, I'm not saying Clayton's lying, but he was absolutely pissed about the Nick situation. Come on. You know, he was there. It's easy to look back and go, well, whatever. But like there were moments there where he wasn't being believed. The media wasn't covering it. There were absolute moments there where he was effed.
agree. I think it's like we're adults here, and it's like we all have our own lives to live, and it's not that these people don't care. It's just that they don't want to get involved.
We'll get back to the podcast.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you this. Here's why I reject that. People want to get involved when they're on the winning side. There's plenty of people I went to high school with that if I was to say, get on Saturday Night Live, that they'd be like, oh my gosh, I know Dave, and they would share it on their Instagram. People want to be on the winning side, is what I'm saying. So the reason why people didn't get involved, the people that I'm talking about, not the Katie Thurstons, I never asked her to cover the story. The people that cover controversial stories. The reason why they didn't get involved is because, let's be flat out here, the narrative is weird. It's a weird narrative, a guy being the one accused of something. You mean to tell me if these roles and genders weren't reversed, that the Rachel Lindsay's on Higher Learning wouldn't be covering it, that Nick Viall wouldn't be covering it, that, people didn't cover it because they didn't want to get sued. Okay? So it's not that they have their own thing going on. I know Katie said that, but again, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the people that actually cover relevant cultural, pop culture, entertainment news. And that's been the most frustrating thing, is to have my sort of words spun in the wrong direction, to be like, no, I'm not saying every Bachelor alumni needs to sing Kumbaya and do a candle lighting session for Clayton. I'm saying the people that monetize their opinions in Bachelor Nation were silent when it came to their opinions on this. And they all knew about it, and they all talked about it. I'm losing my mind here. They all knew about it. They all talked about it. They just didn't want to publicly go to bat for the guy until there was like a victory, at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, I'm not going to play it safe anymore. I'm going to just say it how it is. If you get offended by it, understand I'm not attacking you.
Right.
I have no intention.
No.
I'm trying to get through to you, because I don't want to see you be depressed. I don't want to see you feel like a victim. I want to see you win. But you have to hear the hard news that you're the one holding yourself back. It's nobody else. It's nobody else. Are certain people maybe making it harder for you?
Sheebs said he kind of downplayed the support there. I don't think that was his intention. I don't think he was trying to say that. I just think, it's been a very personal experience for everybody, and everyone goes through something differently. I have to remind myself, like, I'm not the victim. I'm not even the victim here, and it's been so personal. So, therapy's good. And there's a lot of therapy that's probably needed from a lot of different people based on her actions and the actions of her team and her family, right? But no, I don't blame Clayton. He knows, like, look, he's messaged me privately on multiple occasions and in person and offered his thanks. And I know he's done it to his audience too. There's probably a little bit of distancing he wants to do just because he can't have the audience speak for him and vice versa.
Yes, but ultimately you could start to turn this thing around and you'd be in a better position. Are you going to be the next Elon Musk? I mean, probably not, because Elon Musk is hardwired in a way that, like, mentally most people can't be hardwired that way.
Yeah.
You know, but could you be in a better position than you are today?
All right, so he gets into some motivational stuff, which is great. And let's just cap it off here. And by the way, look, that's my opinion. I'm not mad about the fact that people dropped the ball on this story. I'm just not going to pretend that Nick Viall was there in, October when he needed him. He came around in January. You know what I mean? When you look at this timeline, there was and again, people forget this in hindsight, there was a ticking time bomb to get to the truth before she claimed miscarriage or claimed all these other things. It was almost like there was evidence that was spoiling. You understand? So I'm not going to apologize for calling out people, even though I never called anyone out by name, but I'm not going to apologize for calling out alumni and being like, who the hell is going to help this guy? I'm talking about alumni with millions of followers, people that and again, not everyone has to do it, but I'm not going to apologize for using whatever little voice I have to get the attention of others to say, you guys need to get on this. And by the way, that's a fight Clayton can't take. I would wish, if I was in a scenario, that other people would be a voice for me when it wouldn't look good for me to be that voice. You understand?
Your word for the rest of this year is redemption. And you're going to redeem yourself and come back stronger and better, because you're like me and we look back and reflect and go, okay, there are things I might have done wrong or things that maybe I overlooked or people I trusted that I shouldn't have, but I'm going to take all of that, put it in the past, grow from it.
Yeah.
And create a better future. And I just feel like
I like that word. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did choose a word for myself already.
Did you?
But it's because I did it for real estate. I have a really great mentor. His name's Adam Prather. He's an incredible human being, very psychological based. But he already challenged me to find a word. Okay. And my word was rebirth.
Oh.
So
very similar.
Yeah, redemption, rebirth.
Redemption. Yeah. That's so similar.
So I
just got goosebumps. That's cool.
So it was really cool because that word came to me, and I'm like, this is the old me. About 3 months ago, I felt like the old me died.
Yeah.
It almost felt like I needed to mourn it. Mm-hmm. But I realized, I'm like, you're not that person anymore. And now, the people from your past are literally messaging you, showing you you're not that person. That old Clayton's gone. I was like, there is no more version of the old Clayton anymore.
There it is. All right. So I've only showed you 20 minutes plus of a very long and great interview. I did show you a lot. So I would ask that you guys could click on the Not Ashamed podcast, give them a subscribe, leave a comment, let them know you found them through me, do whatever you want. But either way, we got a lot of good information here, a lot of cathartic information from Clayton. And all I can say is this: wait till you hear from the other victims. Wait till you hear all of their stories and how they've all become better versions of themselves because of it. That's the positive of dealing with adversity. You don't want to have to go through it, but when you do, you come out of it stronger, better, and I think a sharper version of yourself. Clayton can probably say that. Mike, Greg, maybe Matt, maybe myself, maybe Greg Woodnick, maybe Isabel, maybe Deandra, all the people, maybe Meg, maybe Umbrella Guy, right? I mean, there's so many people. Lauren, there's so many people I can mention that are stronger because of the attacks they had to bear and receive and deflect from Laura Owens. It's a wild case. And whenever we have information like this, I'm going to bring it to you. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. And if you want, you can support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll be back this afternoon with another episode of our podcast called The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. We'll see you then.